How we doing?
There's Coach.
Mark, that was a wild one. Just your thoughts on maybe the last 15 minutes of that game, the two overtimes in the last 5 minutes of regulation.
Yeah, tough game. Both teams hard fought. Thought both teams were exhausted by the second overtime. Guys were out there for long stretches of time. Our guys battled. That's just one of those games that both teams battle. Somebody wins, somebody loses. It's a possession game. Credit them. They got the game, but was obviously pleased with how we fought, especially late in the fourth. Fought our way, all the way back to force overtime in the first place. It was a great job by our team.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you specifically about that 8-0 run to close. Josh seemed to just be everywhere in that final stretch. Your thoughts on his rebounding?
Yeah, he came up with every ball. He made winning plays, and as the game got tighter and tighter, he was more and more clutch with those, with the rebounds, loose balls. I thought he did a great job there and kind of worked himself through a tough shooting night and ended up with, not a terrible shooting night as a result of it, but it was the hustle plays and the loose balls and the rebounds that I thought, really was a catalyst for us.
Joe Masato, the Oklahoman. Mark, can you just take us through that crazy last second of the first overtime with Shea hitting what appeared to be the game winner at the time, and then sort of what you saw on the lob they threw to Lopez and the foul on Lou?
Yeah, great shot by Shea, obviously. Everybody's going to have their own opinion. There was contact for sure. Whether it was consequential or inadvertent, I don't know. To be honest with you, with stuff like that, the game's in the referee's hands. You're at the mercy of the call they make. I used the challenge earlier on to take some points off the board, so I couldn't have had them look at it. I don't think they would have overturned it. There was enough contact that they could, confirm that if they wanted to. I was more disappointed in, the administrative errors.
Yeah.
It's like there's an inadvertent whistle. We're taking the ball out deep corner. It's like 2.6 seconds on an inadvertent whistle. It's a tough spot to put us in late in the game. I think they might have messed up a bonus situation that we benefited from, putting Shea on the line when we weren't in the bonus. I don't think. They didn't, they checked the bonus after one of the Milwaukee free throws. Stuff like that is what bothers me more than the judgment calls, to be honest with you, because it's more controllable and it's more administrative. That's the stuff they can definitely get right. So, that was more disappointing to me than the judgment calls, the illegal screen, or the Lopez play. They're going to make the calls they make. We respect it.
Mm-hmm. And then with Poku, I know he missed a big shot late, but he played really well, it looked like tonight. And standing up to, they were running a lot of stuff through Brook Lopez there in the fourth, and he had a big defensive stop. What'd you see from Poku in those clutch minutes?
I just thought he battled. He was fronting the post. It's, the physical toll it takes to battle somebody that's that much bigger than you, and you're given so much weight and size to. They got the best of us on some plays, but I thought his activity and physicality took them out of a lot of plays and bogged him down a little bit too. And so Lopez had some loud ones, but, that wasn't the difference in the game, and Poke did a nice job. And he stretched him out on the other end of the floor and opened up the paint a little bit for us. So, really pleased with having him back, first of all, and the way he competed.
You stuck with that group for basically, really down the stretch in regulation and in the overtimes. You mentioned guys played big minutes tonight. Everyone on both sides looked gassed. But what'd you see just from the fight of your guys? It
was great. Those are the types of games that everybody's laying it on the line. When it gets down the stretch like that, I thought our guys did. I've let them play. I played 6 or 7 guys there down the stretch with some offense-defense subs, but it's hard to complain with the effort tonight. They did a great job grinding it out. Obviously, we didn't win the game, but the effort was there.
Sorry, last one for me. You had one of those offense-defense subs, multiple with Kenrich and Tre Mann.
Yep.
One of them you put in Kenrich. He takes a charge and comes right back out. How nice is it as a coach to just have a defensive weapon like that and interchange him with Tre in those moments?
Yeah, and a lot's been made of the rotations and stuff like that, but that's why I think having a mindset of always being ready is important, because when you get into a possession game like that, you need your guys ready to be able to, go and fill a role. Even like Robinson Earl's going in for blockouts when we're going to call a timeout on a rebound late in the game. And everybody being live for 48, we want to train that mindset so that when we get in those situations, we can deploy them and they're ready to go. And I thought they were. Guys did a good job of that.
Towards the end of the game, Shea has the ball in rhythm, and clock's going. You call a timeout. They come out, and I think Tre drives, but Poku gets the shot. Shea doesn't touch the ball in that. Just from the mind, head coach, like, hey, no, nobody throws a perfect game. But in your mind, did you just like, gosh, we missed a chance there because Shea did have the ball at the end there, and this is my opinion. Personally, you want him maybe making a shot instead of not touching the ball after the timeout. Was he a decoy? Did he just didn't execute it the way you wanted it?
You call the timeout to get the floor spaced the way you want it. Sometimes you let him play, sometimes you don't. Didn't love how the floor was spaced. Wanted to get him a little bit more organized. Tre had it going. And at the end of the day, if you just pump it to your guy every single time, teams can do things to take you out of it. And, so it's a conversation I've had with Shea before. That in those situations we can't just be a one-trick pony. We've got to be able to entrust other guys, and the list is long as to reasons why Shea is a pretty special person and player, and he understands the bigger picture in those situations. And he empowers the other guys. So I thought Tre obviously had a good game going, threw the pass out, we got a corner three out of it. Didn't go in, but I'm willing to live with those because it's in pursuit of trusting the guys and trusting the team. And over the long haul, I think we'll benefit from that more than just trying to put a coin in every time we need 2 points. We obviously go to him a lot of other times too. So,
Derek Parker, Inside the Thunder. Tre Mann is a player that has seen a little bit more of sporadic minutes, but it seems like he's really worked through that in the last couple games. Can you just speak on his night a little bit more?
Yeah, I thought he got into a heck of a rhythm. He got some swagger back that he's had many times, and had to work through. And, it's all these guys, it's not easy, and I think they all had great summers, put a lot of work in. But the reason you work in the summer and the reason you work on your game is for when it's hard, not to make it easy. There's nothing you can do to make it easy. It's the NBA. And so they're going to have to battle through a lot of things in their careers and in the season and in a game. And they have to learn from all of them, and every time you battle through it, you get a little bit tougher and stronger and more wise and experienced. And they're going through that process. There's going to be ups and downs in that process for everybody. Tonight was a nice bounce back for Tre. I thought he cleared a hurdle there mentally.
Michael Martin, the Oklahoman. Mark, you talked about it earlier with the last 3 seconds with that inadvertent whistle and then the out of timeout play there. Was that a play that was drawn for the other side? Because it looked like Josh was lined up on the side towards your guys' bench and then last second had to flip sides. On
the inadvertent whistle play?
Yes.
That's just a play we have that's in. And he's got the option to throw it to the cutter, which you guys have seen him do 100 times, and he threw a hell of a pass to Lou. So whatever side the ball's on, he can go to and run the play.
Yoko B, NB Japan. You used Aaron Wiggins and Isaiah Joe for a while, and then you kind of benched them, and then you never put them back again.
Yep.
Is there any specific reason for that?
You can't play 11 guys, throughout the whole course of the game. We're trying to, I flipped Isaiah out there tonight because he's done a nice job in the minutes that he's played. I thought it was a good time to try to do it. That group got a little mojo going too. Wiggins hasn't played the last couple games. I wanted to get him out there in the first half, and then as the game goes on, you got to tighten that a little bit. So I just want those guys to stay ready. I don't want them to go too long without touching the floor, even if it's for just a couple minutes. And it goes back to developing the mindset that I talked about before, where it's like you're going to have to pull some strings at different times and make adjustments in games and in the season, and you want guys ready no matter what. And we're trying to train that. And there's going to be trade-offs to that. It's not always going to be perfect, but we think the trade-offs are worth it right now.
Anyone else? Thanks, Coach.
Yep. Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.